now here comes the world number 3, WANGYIDI from China.
Well, listen to the roar that greets Wang Yidi, the world number 3 of China, as she makes her way down the runway, past the fireworks, and across to the bench. Hina Hayata awaits for a place in the next round here, and I do wonder how these players feel emerging into this atmosphere of this electrifying Infinity Arena. There's lights, there's smoke, there's fireworks, and there's Fraser Riley. Fraser, this is going to be a fantastically fascinating quarter-final between the world number 3 and the world number 5. This is the best of 5 before we get into the semi-finals. That'll be a best of 7. And look at that, Fraser, world number 3 taking on the world number 5. They've got an incredibly close head-to-head. They've got a very close world ranking, and it's going to be fascinating, isn't it?
It certainly is, Rebecca. Great to be with you here on this penultimate day of play. The first WTT meeting between Wang Yidi and Hina Hayata, where they've had 4 mouth-watering previous encounters outside of this fantastic product that we'll tell you about in a second.
Red or black? Black for Hayata, red for Wang. Black. Hayata, winner of toss, choose receive.
Yeah, Fraser was saying about the other mouth-watering clashes we've seen between this pair. This is a first meeting at WTT level, but they played outside of World Table Tennis competition as well, most recently at the Continental Championships in Hangzhou of last year. The head-to-head tied tantalizingly at 2 wins apiece.
Yeah, and the last 2 times Hayata has beaten Wang Yidi, both 4-3. I mean, that match at the World Championships in Durban, the best match of the World Championships arguably, 21-19 in Game 7 to Hina Hayata, which guaranteed her the bronze medal. Here's a look though at Wang Yidi's run through so far.
Yeah, it's been an impressive march through to the quarterfinals for Wang Yidi. Hasn't dropped a game. Comprehensive wins over Mina Ito of Japan and Seo Won of the Republic of Korea. Wang Yidi looking very good indeed. Comes here as well off the back of a run through to the semi-finals at the Singapore Smash. She reached the semi-finals here last year, was beaten by Wang Manyu, her teammate. She's also been a champion at Champions Level Frankfurt in 23, so a very, very impressive resume for Wang Yidi. But a word then, Fraser, on Hina Hayata, world number 5, just 2 places behind her, and that's how she's made her way through to this stage. An impressive win over Bruna Takahashi of Brazil in the last round. Just dropped the 1 game en route to this quarterfinal, so great credentials for her as well.
Yeah, nearly a squeaky clean record as well for Hina Hayata. That was a great match against Wang Yidi. Had some amazing rallies. Here's what they're playing on, with, and for. Total prize pool of $800,000, the 60 grand to the champion and 1,000 ranking points. And don't forget, there are 6 Champions events this season, ladies and gentlemen.
This, the very first of them, quarterfinals day today before we get into day 6, semi-finals in the morning, and then the final later on that day. So exciting in Chongqing, and where better to kick off the Champions Series than here, the home of table tennis. And how about that fan vote? Pretty much an even split, but Hina Hayata just edging it.
I don't think wishful thinking's come into this one so much. I think that the fans have done their homework on the last encounters.
Yeah, fascinating. Well, all will be revealed across this best of 5, almost ready to get going here in this first quarterfinal. Hayata bringing the power early on.
Such a dynamic left-handed player. Japan's number 1.
This goes long on the backhand, and Wang Yidi levels up.
In terms of their strengths and weaknesses, both so equally matched in terms of, you know, their ceiling, their best levels. For me, more than anything, this is a question of Hina Hayata's confidence.
Well, I was going to ask Fraser if it was hard to be confident in front of these Chinese fans, but she struck that with real confidence, didn't she?
Yeah, beautiful. Smooth backhand there from Hina Hayata. Actually misdirecting Wang Yidi with the foremotion there.
No such success with that backhand. It was a tricky ball for Hayata to read.
Such a high quality touch there from Wang Yidi. Coming right under the ball. Perfectly placed. Aggressive play there. Recovered after that first one wonderfully. She has an underlying level of power, Hina Hayata. I'd say that she's all in all the spinnier of the two. Wang Yidi slightly more compact. Her shots don't seem to cost her as much positioning at the table. That's why she's so dangerous.
3-0.
Couple of the Chinese youngsters there. Xu Yi on the left. She was actually training with Sun Ying Sharp, preparing the world #1 for her match against Du Hoi Kemp.
Good serving from the world #5. Wang Yidi struggling to get a read on that one.
See if Hayata can improve that third ball when Wang Yidi denies her that clear-cut open attack. A couple of errors Hayata's made on that third ball there. Tried to play a guide flick, a bit hesitant though.
So smooth with the backhand. You say that confidence is going to make the difference for the Japanese player. Is that the only point of difference between this pair?
No, definitely not. Like I say so many times, you know, Hayata has more strings to her bow. Wang Yidi has incredible feeling, don't get me wrong, you just don't see it in the same kind of way. Wang Yidi is a better percentage player, that's how she's been able to get to the later stages of Champions events more than Hayata.
6-4.
Hayata has a 27% win rate against Team China players, way better than most, but she's kind of prodded the bee's nest, as it were.
It's a massive point for Wang Yidi.
6-5.
Getting the better of the world #5 in that rally. Great turn of direction, great varied shot making.
That was outrageous. That one down the line, stretching Hayata, then to the other corner. Amazing point construction from the third seed. They're getting her into that crossover section. Great placement from Wang Yidi. I mentioned the confidence because so many of Team Japan's stars break through, cause a wave, strike a chord of concern, but then they struggle to consistently beat the Chinese players after that breakthrough that they make.
7-6.
It's an ever-looming threat. I mean, Hayata's beaten even Chongqing in that World Championship final. Unbelievable. But after the Olympics, after that bronze medal, had a bit of an injury.
6-8.
And of course, there's just this air of expectation around the Chinese team. An air of invincibility as well that can be so hard to penetrate. That's the confidence that you need, Fraser, to just lift your game an extra level.
Yeah, that's right.
A 3-point lead now. Could this be where the third seed begins to pull away, put some daylight between herself and her opponent?
Looks like it. Pressuring that backhand. Great momentum for Wang Yidi here.
Oh, what a shot.
10-6.
Right down the edge of the table, on the parallel. 4 game points now for the third seed.
There's just no waiting around. It's the proactiveness of Wang Yidi. She makes her own luck.
And he wraps up the opener 11 points to 6, 4 game points. She only needed 1. And that is a great start for the number 3 seed.
That says it all there, that streak that she got there in that final juncture of the game. Tighten the screw. Hina Hayata was caught lacking on the backhand half. Interesting to see what she has to do in the next one.
Here's a look at the top 8 seeds here in Chongqing. Hina Hayata, the best of the non-Japanese players. It's a Japanese one, or Chinese rather, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hina Hayata, the best of the rest, the 5th seed in action against Wang Yidi in this one. In this best of 5, it's Wang Yidi, the 3rd seed, who's got the better of Hina Hayata at the moment. What kind of response can we expect to see from the number 5 seed? Well, it wasn't a bad start by any means for Japan's number 1. Kept in touch in the opening stages, and then it was
Second game,
when Wang Yidi
Hayata to serve.
started to get into what we call her flow state. There was no looking back there. What does Hina Hayata need to do now to approach this second game?
For me, she has to try and get Wang Yidi as wide as possible, as early as possible. Also making it a guessing game, throwing in the odd long serve. Wang Yidi is miles better than Hayata around the central regions of the table. Barely had any issues returning Hayata's serve. That's why I feel like the Japanese star has to try and widen her serves half long. Try and open the table for herself as early as possible.
Well, Wang Yidi, very strong player, but far too much on that forehand. Hayata lets out a scream, perhaps of relief as she gets the first point on the board. She will want to stop Wang Yidi's momentum, her march on through these points. Tried to get her out wide.
Right intention, but she tried to build a house on sand there. Wang Yidi's so good at starting the rally with slow spin, then attacking. Hayata doesn't want to have to face any kind of juxtapositions.
Oh my goodness, into the net. Great pressure from Hina Hayata, gets the better of her in that rally to draw level at 2 points apiece. The second one shaping up nicely.
Unbelievable. That arcing forehand that Hayata played. She is so good at mid-distance. A mixed double specialist as well as a specialist in singles. Seen her reach 2 finals at the World Championships alongside Tomokazu Haramoto. Second best only to Wang Chuqin and Sun Ying-sha. That dynamic nature of her movement is one of her main strengths.
She struck that one so quickly.
Maybe getting away with that one a little bit. Wangidi trying to fade the forehand out wide. It was a half-long touch. Just about attackable. Not an easy one though for Wang.
Let 3-4.
The bounce can sometimes be a little bit misleading. That can be the thing that tempts the opponent into attack.
Bit of fortune for Hayata, who raises a hand by way of apology, but she pulls 2 points clear.
Does she have the minerals now to keep this cushion, maybe even extend it? Brilliant zippy backhand from Hayata. That's much more like it. Can't afford to really block too much with that side.
5-4.
Oh, that was another zippy shot from Hayata, restores that 2-point lead.
Beautiful. I love this Hayata pendulum service. So whippy. Handcuffing serve. Difficult to trap the spin on it with a touch. Low enough and spinny enough to make it tough to flick it powerfully as well.
Well, some power now from Wang Yidi. It's not letting Hayata open up any kind of daylight.
It's important for Wang Yidi here to make a statement, because she's been the one of the big four that's shown a little bit of vulnerability against Japanese players. Having lost to Hirano, Kihara and Hayata, it's made it really difficult for her to, you know, play the biggest events. That's been the sort of crack in the windshield. The most regrettable performances against Hayata, so psychologically that's an interesting dynamic in this match.
Good serving from Hayata. We saw there popping up on the screen the serve success of both players. Hayata in the 30 percentage points, but that was decent.
Look at that shot from Wang Yidi. Playing that backhand right down the short side of the table. Amazing control. Amazing again from Hayata though. Feels like Wang Yidi's getting the better of her with the backhand down the line. Hayata struggling to play her backhand on the short side, but cross table being so effective. Stretching the rooted Wang Yidi.
Oh, and that's 4 game points now for Hayata. This is the same scoreline as in the first game, but just reversed. And let's see if she can get this one wrapped up now to level at a game apiece. Oh, what a way to save the first of 4 game points.
Beautiful shot. That serve, it's a little bit lukewarm. Intended to play it half long, drifted a bit too much, and that's the instant punishment that you'll get.
Second game to Hayata.
Hayata gets it done at the second time of asking. Levels at a game apiece here, really opens up this quarter-final. It was a mouth-watering clash ahead of this one, and now it's as close as we thought it would be. Fraser, the world number 3, taking on the world number 5, and it is even Steven so far. This one is shaping up to be another thriller in the Infinity Arena.
I feel like whoever can get a better start in this third game will perhaps go on to win the match. Mentally, this is a huge game coming up next here as Hayata levels.
释放一点啊。坚定啊。
Game 3, Wang Yidi giving herself a bit of a pep talk, a bit of a talking to ahead of this one, and you say it's going to be down to who makes the quickest start, you suspect?
Yeah, I think both players are playing quite well. And yeah, whoever's got in front so far hasn't really taken their foot off the gas. Just a little lapse in that first game from Hayata. But towards the later stages of each game, both players have been quite convincing.
Lost 2.
Beautiful spin play from Hayata again with that backhand. Gets so much dwell there. Still taking the backhand out in front, but coming up the ball more. Very tough for Wang Yidi to control. Unless she's a little bit more proactive to counter.
2-0.
Serving with a lot of venom here, Hina Hayata. This is what she needed to do. Has to try and limit the number of options Wang Yidi has on receive.
2-3.
Well, the anguished expression on Wang Yidi's face says it all. She thinks she should have done better with that one. A wry smile as well.
It's an interesting receive from Hayata. Just dangling it in front of Wang Yidi's nose. The Chinese player couldn't put it away.
Oh, she put that one away though. Struck it like lightning.
No spin on the serve at all, completely empty. And that's what Wang Yidi can do. She can punch. She punches more than Sun Ying-sha, Wang Man-yu, Chen Meng, Chen Qin-tong with that backhand. Attributing again to the sort of compact nature of her style.
Players play on.
In the last two meetings, the meetings which Hayata won, it went 1-1 both times. Hayata ended up winning the third game. Closely though. See if that happens again.
5-3.
Well, you said, Fraser, about whoever makes the strongest start here, whoever's able to establish a lead should be the one who wins it. Early days, of course, 6-3 in this third game, but if the history of the first two is to repeat itself, Wang Yidi will be hoping to pull ahead. Well, the lead reduced now to 3 rather than, or reduced to 2 rather than 3, but it'll be interesting to see whether this game repeats the same pattern as the opening two.
Yeah, pressuring her well here.
4-7.
Wang Yidi taking a bit of space away from the table. Happy to trade blows. You wonder why all of the top 5 Chinese players are right-handed and why Japan's top player left-handed. You look at the percentages of Hayata again for Chinese players of late. She struggles to beat them. Her weaker side is the backhand, their stronger side is the forehand, and the longer length to play as a right-handed player is cross-table. The real troublesome thing for Hayata here, which is the same problem that she has against Sun, Wang and Chen Tong, is the fact that she struggles to play her backhand down the line once they've played cross-table into her backhand.
Yeah, it's fascinating. The left hand versus right hand just adds another layer of intrigue to proceedings. But at the minute, Wang Yidi firmly in control. 6 of the last 8 points have gone her way. Closing in now on this third game. This is the biggest lead that she has had.
Wang's better prepared here for the balls coming into her forehand. Don't think it was luck that made the difference there.
5-10.
Certainly not 5 game points as well now. This is very much Wang Yidi in full flow. From Wang Yidi, wraps up the third, 11 points to 5, cool as you like. So impressive from China's number 3.
Wow, that was frighteningly good from China's pocket rocket. What a way to close out proceedings here. The match is hers to lose. Dusting Hayata down the line on that last one.
你感觉到你的配合不是对，但主体还是要以打拳来唱拳，是不是主体上去？然后先让对方不舒服，明白吧？你别感觉自己舒服，一定要先让对方往前想，对吧？这拳呢不能保守，明白吧？你要先往前想，对吧？然后正手。
Wang Yidi's quarter-final to lose. Hina Hayata played off the table in that last point in game 3.
4th game, Hayata to serve, love 4.
She gets us back underway though in a must-win game number 4 for Japan's 5th seed.
Love 1.
Yeah, an uphill battle here for Hina Hayata now. It's just amazing how even for a player like her, who only has a few above her in the world rankings, it's still basically impossible to win an event when all of
1-0.
Team China's A team have entered. It's like, how do you break that deadlock?
And on home turf as well, in Chongqing.
It's like you have to have some kind of surprise factor. Hayata plays so many events, basically every single event. She has more titles than Wang Yidi. 7 WTT titles for Hayata. 4 for Wang Yidi.
1-2.
You know, she has to play a lot of events, Hayata, to get the confidence, to get match sharp. China have the depth to be able to do that behind closed doors. They can afford to be more selective, and that always puts them at an advantage. Feels like it just takes something completely out of the blue, completely wacky, to be able to challenge them.
It's interesting what you say about behind closed doors, because of course China can study everybody else, because the likes of Hina Hayata, they're entering tournament after tournament, whereas China, there's sort of that secret element to it.
Yeah, we didn't see any of the top Chinese stars in the first two events of the year. Obviously saw them at the Singapore Smash.
3-2. Let 3-2.
Just a little bit wild on that one. Hina Hayata tried to finish the point straight away. Shows you the pressure that she feels right now against Wang Yidi. She's lost her confidence in the longer rallies, which actually usually she's very, very, very solid in.
So strong, so fast, so powerful. Wang Yidi just utterly confident, putting so much pressure on Hina Hayata. Didn't get a look in that rally.
Much better there from Hayata. She kept her posture against the slower ball. Lovely touch as well, created some indecision. Still in this year, the Japanese player. Japan's golden girl on the women's side. Got to remind herself it is her versatility, it is her diverse portfolio of serves, her spin game, her ability to fade the ball that really stands her apart from so many other non-Chinese players. She's got to home in on those skills here.
Wang Yidi just absorbing all of that pressure from Hina Hayata. Draws level at 5-all, drawing gasps from the crowd.
Yeah, brilliant from Wang Yidi again. Hayata is the taller player with longer levers, struggling to protect that crossover section. Amazing that she could find that transitional zone there, Wang Yidi. And they're actually slightly out of position, opting for the slower, spinnier ball. So instinctive. There's honestly so much to learn from watching a player as comprehensive as Wang.
6-0.
On the edge of the table there, Hayata puts her in front here.
This is an interesting twist in this third game. It's around about this stage of the opening two games that the player who was in front began to pull away. Wang Yidi needs to keep pace now with Hayata, who looks to be getting a bit more confidence after a couple of lucky shots. I say lucky, I mean balls coming off the edge of the table, hitting the net.
Another This is going to be more psychological than ever because both these players know what's happened when they've gone to the deciding game.
Black 7-8.
Hayata, especially here, has to try and treat each point on its own merit because there have been times in the past where she's had real chances against Chinese stars and has failed to convert. Wang just keeping things so simple, gauging the percentages, pushing out with the backhand, holding down the fort, all with the backhand there. Just nudging the ball out to different positions, not having to play a powerful forehand to win the rally. That's really clever play from her.
There's so much power behind that forehand of Wang Yidi. Now gets herself in front again, overcomes a 2-point deficit to take the lead as we edge towards the end of this fourth game. Nervy moments indeed for Hina Hayata, who's called for the timeout. Here's a look inside the practice hall then. Well, at the beginning of the week, every single table was taken. And now, as the draw is whittled down, fewer and fewer players in that practice hall. Next up, though, Hiroto Shinozuka and Tomokazu Harimoto getting warmed up ahead of their quarter-final. Shinozuka looking very relaxed indeed. Harimoto there working with the resistance bands. Japan well represented throughout these quarter-finals. Harimoto, of course, I'm sure he'll be cheering on his little sister later on. Miwa Harimoto playing in her quarter-final in this evening's session against Wang Manyu. That's another one to look forward to.
Today's going to be a cracking day here. And this one's really lived up to every expectation. So far, these two chained together. But 3 points in a row here from Wang Yidi. Really striking a chord of concern.
8-9.
Yeah, big points coming up at the end of this fourth game. Hayata draws level, but a stroke of luck in doing so.
She was bold and brave though. Really high toss service, not much backspin, really tight, and then a complete juxtaposition to backhand. A backhand parallel which she can do on that third ball but struggles to do in the rally. And there a slow spinny flick sets up game point.
What a great way to restart after the timeout. A well-timed timeout indeed for the number 5 seed. This is a big point coming up.
Oh my goodness, Hayata chops it back!
Oh my goodness. What a rally. That is the rally of the match so far. The crowd are on their feet.
Oh my goodness. Fading. Look at that chop from Hayata. She tried to channel her in a Simon Gozi there. Japan's number 1. Brilliant defence. Oh, she felt like she did the hard bit there.
Well, now it's Wang Yidi who has the match point.
11.
Hina Hayata still trying to catch her breath after the excerpts of her own game point. What a twist in this tale. To the match, Wang Yidi raises a hand in celebration. What a match that was. An incredible rally in the penultimate point. With Hina Hayata with the game point, couldn't convert. And it is Wang Yidi who is through to the semi-finals. What a thriller to start us off here. What a quarter-final that was. WANGYIDI is through to play the winner of the match between Sun Yingsha and Satsuki Oda. What a mouth-watering semi-final that will be, regardless as to who she is lining up against. Congratulations to the third seed.